interesting indeed, Mary Wavinya reporting from Naivasha. Very tough indeed for the drivers. But like I mentioned earlier on, it is getting interesting by the moment. And as we talk about that, it is so clear that it is, the best that will carry the day. Very, very tough indeed. Raining heavily in Naivasha at the moment. Reports that we are getting from Wavinya and the rest of the team. It's raining cats and dogs. The service park is heavily raining, but that does not stop the race. It gets interesting, and some drivers will always tell you they love it in that. Carl Flash Tundo and the Jesop team still leading in a Volkswagen Golf Polo GTI, followed by Rai Tajvir and Dawe Gareth, Volkswagen Polo GTI, then Boldi Chaga coming in position number 3 with Sony Ravi in a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, then Mangat Jazz and Kamia Jasata of Uganda in position number 4. Very, very interesting indeed. Remember, it is the dry run to the World Rally Championships. That is the safari that will be coming to Kenya in June. Closely monitoring what's happening from that point. Now we shift focus and we're now talking about Taekwondo. And this is a sport that many always associate with defensive mode anytime you want to do anything. But we are not talking about defensive nature of it. We are talking about the sporting angle to it. And joining us this afternoon, we are privileged and honored to be joined by Mr. George Wesonga, who is the Secretary General, Kenya Taekwondo Federation, and a national coach also, to just talk to us and let us know what's happening around Taekwondo. And of course, Olympics are coming up. How prepared, how many have qualified? If we have, Mr. Wesonga will be talking to us. Mr. Wesonga, good afternoon, and thank you for making time to be with us this afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Apidi. I'm happy to be here, and thanks for inviting me. In the field of Taekwondo Olympics, we have done a lot. We have already qualified one athlete, that is Faith Ogalo, who should be with us any moment from now. She qualified, and she is currently training hard for the event, and we hope that she will be in a position to bring us a medal from Japan.
Well, congratulations to Faith, as we look at all this, and knowing that the Olympics is one of the most desired points an athlete would want in their lifetime. Faith already making it. We will be talking about that because Faith will be with us shortly, just getting ready on the other side of the studio, getting lots of insights of what to expect. But as we talk about this, Mr. Wesonga, you must have had a plan towards the Olympic. Are you happy and satisfied that at least Kenya will be represented in the Olympics with only one Taekwondo, athlete?
Actually, we might have another athlete. We are traveling to Senegal for the African Championships, which is a ranking event. So if one of our players by the name Newton Maliro from the Defense Forces of Kenya earns enough points, we could easily see him there in the Olympics. So we could be having two. But at present, we only have one, who is Faith, who is doing very well. And we have great hopes in her.
As we look at this, Georgia, we understand and we all know that the government has currently suspended all sporting activities in the country. We look at it and we know that Faith and Newton Muliro now are getting ready for the qualifiers. We'll need a lot of support, a lot of training in order of them performing well. Newton in the qualifiers to make it through to the Olympics, and Faith come the Olympics time, she will be in top form in her weight category. As we look at this, are you working in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Sports, and of course National Olympic Committee, so that you get that go-ahead for these individuals to train? It is a sport that they can't train alone. They will have to need, to work with other, Taekwondo athletes to get ready, and coaches. Have you gotten that nod? And just a quick update from that point of view.
Yes, we are glad that although there are stringent measures on curfew, on about COVID-19, and this has affected all sports activities, but the Ministry of Health and the President and NOC were kind enough to allow the teams that have qualified for Olympics to continue with their training at Kasarani under very strict COVID-19 health protocols. The team has been tested, is regularly tested. The team has been vaccinated, and we have nothing to worry about. And we are very happy about that we can be allowed to continue with our preps to the Olympics in these hard times. And the athletes are also responding very well. Yes.
Well, interesting indeed, because we are in tough times, and these athletes must, prepare so that they are in top form. As a federation, what else are you putting in place so that you give them the best, for Faith, the best preparations that she can ever dream of? We know the National Olympic Committee also has a program in terms of preparing the same, but as a federation, what are you working around to ensure that Faith gets the best preparations, and also Newton as he gets ready for his qualifying?
Yes, we are working hard as a federation to ensure that the athletes get the best. We want to make sure that Faith gets the best attention and training. Despite the fact that we are financially handicapped, but we are glad that the government is coming in, and the support we have been receiving up to now is so huge. And the federation, what we have done, we have made sure that Faith has good sparring partners who will help her bring the best out of herself. We have a good number, and we are training together and living as a family. And each day we try to encourage Faith, because sometimes training is very hard. Training 4 to 5 hours a day could be tough on Faith, and given that this is going to be her first Olympics, it's a bit tough on her. So what we're trying to do is to make sure that she's as comfortable as possible. She trains hard as possible. When at times she feels low, we try to bring her morale up, because with tough training, with high-level training, you find that the body sometimes fails to respond, and the spirit also goes down. So what we do, we try to really cheer her up, motivate her, and she's responding well.
As we, you look at how she responds on from that point of view. You've mentioned sparring partners. You mind talking to us about this? Are you looking at sparring partners of the same weight? Because remember, when you go the other side to the Olympics, you actually do not know whom Faith will be taking to the court with in terms of getting to qualify, or getting to get to the medal brackets, or even to get the gold medal. Are you working around all those so that you give her the best from a sparring point of view, from bodybuilding, from a dietary point of view? Because there's so much that comes to play.
Yes, there's so much that comes to play when it comes to preps for an athlete of Faith's caliber. And what we have done, we have brought sparring partners from both gender. She has male sparring partners, and she has female sparring partners of different weights. The lower weight division in the sparring partners side is for one purpose. one single purpose, to improve her speed. And then we have other heavier athletes who are there now to match her power and to bring the best out of her strength. We also have a strength and conditioning coach who is helping us very much, Mr. Jeffrey Kimani. He's working hard. We have 3 coaches. We have the head coach, Leaders Marangu. Then we have myself, Wesonga, and then we have Moses Muturi. We are also bringing in another one called Nesmas Wesonga. So we are trying to put everything in place for Faith, because now Faith is like an institution that must be run by so many people, simply because we want the best out of Faith. So we have put in a big team to assist Faith. And we are glad that the National Olympic Committee of Kenya is also doing a good job to ensure that Faith will be in her best shape by the time we go for Olympics. And we are going to gauge her performance during the Africa Championships in Senegal, Dakar, in a few weeks' time. And we have so much confidence in Faith. She has a good fighting spirit. She is a good listener. She pays attention to details. Although sometimes, for any human being, it reaches a level when now your body can't take it anymore. But that's why we are there, to push her on and on and on.
Fantastic. Yes. I mean, there is a lot of pressure that normally comes at times when many are looking at you to perform. Faith is here with us in studio. I mean, first and foremost, congratulations to her. We will be engaging her in a bit so that we understand, what to expect from her, and of course, how she is preparing for the same. But that's coming up after this short commercial break. And of course, joined in studio by Mr. George Wesonga, who is the Secretary General, Kenya Taekwondo Federation, then also joined by Faith Ogalo, 67 kgs weight category, already qualified for the Olympics and getting ready for the same in terms of ensuring that Kenya's flag is also present at the Olympic. Tall order indeed, comes with a lot of pressure, but these are things that Faith is used to. Faith qualified for the Olympics early last year in 2020. That's in March, just before Corona, was declared a pandemic. And when that was done, she was already home and dry. It's not been easy in terms of preparing, but we congratulate and wish her all the best. Faith, first and foremost, congratulations. It's been one full year of anxiety. Olympics start, stop, put on hold, but now it seems like it's finally happening. How has it been in terms of preparations for you, and psychologically, have you been affected by the way it was postponed on and off, but it seems like now it's working? How has it been for you?
At the beginning, it was very tough, but later on with time, the protocol, the Ministry of Health came in. They share a lot of information about COVID. Right now, the pressure is not that high compared to when Corona came in. They tell us right now, keep the social distance, put on your mask, sanitize, avoid gathering when it's not necessary, stay home as much as you can, just simple rules. And it has taken me this far. And also with collaboration with other stakeholders, the Taekwondo Federation, other teammates, and all my fans. I'm now here and I'm strong to go. So I'm not worried anymore. The postponement was just worthy it, because we saw the pandemic was hitting the whole world, and health is a priority. Like Japan, they had to be given time to set the protocols in place, and actually they've done so. So even the other day we started the 100 days to Olympics. So we are doing all we can as athletes to give it our best, and I know I'll give it my best.
Well, we are wishing you all the best, and I like it when you say that the athlete's health comes first, and postponement was the best decision reached. Mr. Wesonga, as we look at Faith's preparations for the same, Normally, National Olympic Committee of Kenya comes in very handy and very strong in terms of anyone who's qualified. Are you working out on a program with the National Olympic Committee in terms of preparing Faith, who is going for the plus 67 kgs category? All the best that she needs. Has camping started? And if yes, for how long? And what are we looking at?
Yes, we are working hand in hand with the National Olympic Committee, and they are very concerned, they are very committed to ensuring that Faith gets the best. Right now, Faith is on a scholarship, Taekwondo scholarship, which is being catered for by National Olympic Committee. And all this is for the simple reason that we need Faith to go and do her best. And as I always tell Faith, that she's an ambassador for so many people and many things. She is, first of all, she's an ambassador for the gender. Like if she goes to the Olympics and wins a medal, then the female gender will have been lifted to another level. She's an ambassador for the federation, and most importantly, her own ambassador. And that is why Kenya Taekwondo Federation and National Olympic Committee are working hand in hand to ensure that Faith gets all what she's supposed to get. Although we still say that as per preparations, in terms of equipment that Faith needs, there are things that she needs in her training that we have not gotten yet. We gave a budget to the government, but it's taking too long. And as it takes too long, time is moving. And there are things that actually she needs to use in her training. There are a few gadgets here and there that she needs to use in her training. Also for her recovery. If you train like 4 or 5 hours a day, by the time you come out of training, that body will be speaking a different language. And what we need to do is to have her undergo recovery immediately, go on recovery, so that the body can really relax and ready for the next day. Because if you also push the body day in, day out, then the body begins to suffer from what you call wear and tears, and they must be repaired. And that is done through what we call recovery. So when it comes to recovery, we have something like things like ice bucket, ice bag, where we can immerse Faith after training to cool her body down. And if the government can provide all this, I think we will be in a better position now to adequately say that now Faith is preparing just like any other athlete out there. Because we know that her opponents out there are really training hard. And sports now it's more of a science. So even in your preparations, you must go scientific. As opposed to those days when we used to tell athletes, run 20 kilometers and come back. Now it's a bit different. You run as we also continue to research on you and to try to come up with better methods of preparations. So NOC is doing a good job, we are doing a good job, and we want now the government now to come in strongly, adequately. Like you see, movement for Faith from point A to point B. I think I would appeal to Madam Amina, the CS. She needs some form of transport to ensure that she makes it from point A to point B on time. Because we strongly believe that she will bring a medal to this country. Yes.
Well, it is possible, that it can come because clearly from the words around and the discipline that she has, so much can come to play. Remember, you can interact with us at KBC Channel 1 at Ampher A. Let us know what you think about the same, about Faith's your performance, what you think about Faith, and wishing her all the best as well. And talking about the same, one comment, rooting for Faith. Tell her Maria believes in her abilities and her total commitment to her sport.
Thank you.
So, Faith, looks like the belief is there, not just from Kenya Taekwondo Federation, but also from your fans and the public. Does this give you pressure as you now prepare for the Olympics, knowing that you are the lone qualifier thus so far, hoping that Newton can also qualify so that you're two, but as at now you're the sole qualifier from Kenya? Does that put pressure on you?
Okay, definitely the pressure is there, but there's this urge that makes me to work. Like when I walk around, most of the time I do walk on the streets, and the way I see outside there, like the climate change is an issue to our country, and I've been doing sports not because I just do it for the sake of doing, but I'm doing sports to champion for climate change in my country, because once I perform, it will give me and my federation and also Kenya as a country more things, because right now we are having a gap on climate communication and we need more research, especially on carbon. Like in Kenya, we are having a gap on carbon. Yes, so I think when I perform, it will give us more doors, because I even launched a Green Growth Service Desk as a climate action and mitigation in my university, Kibabi University, in collaboration with our Vice Chancellor. So he gave me the chance, and then you see when these privileges you're being given, you must show the feedback, and the feedback is me performing in the Olympics. I don't just want to be famous, or I'm doing it to be to earn the fame. I'm doing it because I want the best for my country, because climate change currently is hitting my country and I greatly want to fight it back.
Very good there indeed, that you have an agenda that is really pushing you, which is towards the better of the country, not just the country, but a global approach. We all know that climate change is a very, very very sensitive issue that is currently even being discussed at global level. So very important, to just note that it's something that's running through your mind. Faith, as we look at the Olympics, what are your ambitions as you get to there? Do you have a target that you've set yourself that you'd want to achieve when you go to the Olympics?
Yes, definitely. Before I was podium ready, and right now I believe in preparation with the General Secretary, Kenya Taekwondo Federation. He has told us that a medal is coming to Kenya. And for sure it will be like a breaking news. So definitely I'll have to push it and give Kenya the best, because actually when I win in that podium I usually feel nice when he's usually who seconds me. So when he gives me the flag, I usually feel so nice. When I walk around running with the flag of my country, I just feel it's the best moment ever. Just walking along, running around the podium with the flag. It's a nice feeling, and I won't miss that opportunity in Tokyo. So.
Before I go back to George, it's a nice feeling. Talk to us about the moment you qualified for the Olympics, in Morocco last year. How was that moment? Just paint a picture.
It was just the best moments ever in my life, because I actually told God that, God, I really want to qualify. Please just give it to me, God. And actually I saw God answering my prayers. And then I call it was the lucky day in my life, because you've talked to God. God, I really want to win this Tokyo thing. Please help me, God. And then God answers the prayer. So I was happy and felt well.
Well, I mean, it's always a good moment when you achieve your target. When you're going out there, you always set your target. But it's also good to note that from a faith point of view, faith also keeps faith. You know, saying that, you know, pray to God. And it looks like the faith was up there and she managed to qualify for the Olympics, going for the plus 67 kgs category. Very good move indeed. George, as Faith was taking, you know, her fight to qualify for the Olympics, were you confident that Faith would get that ticket to the Olympics?
Yes, as a coach with a lot of experience, we always say that medals are won during training. They are never won in the competition. Competitions are just a formality. When we were with Faith and the other team members, we were also with the head coach, Mr. Marangu, and I had a chance to second Faith, and even prior to the event, to the game itself, I could see a lot of faith, like she has said, in her. I would see a lot of confidence in her, and a strong character, and that is what carried her through during the event. And as she said, the feeling was so nice, like when you watched her run around with the Kenyan flag, being the only athlete qualified from sub-Saharan Africa, the only, and most important, female. So she ran around the hall, not only the podium, and we broke into a dance. Yeah, I just forgot that, because I ran and picked her up, and first of all, we went and congratulated the opponent, because without that opponent, there was no qualifier. So she went and congratulated the opponent and told the opponent, don't worry, there's the next time. Because now the opponent was really crying, you know. She was crying. But she went there, pat her on the back, told her, don't worry, there's still, next time you're still young, you're only 17, you'll make it next time, don't worry. And as we were leaving the podium, we broke into a dance because we felt like Kenya had achieved something. And we believe that Kenya is bigger than everybody else, and we are always at service for Kenya. So she was at service for Kenya. And that is what gave us a lot of confidence in her. In fact, we knew. Like, we looked at the draw, then we looked at the profile of the opponent. We discovered one thing. They are of the same height with the opponent. That was in the, was it semi-final?
Yes.
Yeah. But Faith's arms were like 5 inches longer than the opponent. She had a bit longer limbs than the opponent. So we worked out a strategy. Chezea mbali. Chezea mbali. In fact, the opponent was too good. But now, her strong character, her determination, and teamwork, na kuchezea mbali, brought us this glory. And I'm still confident that she's going to perform. Because the first time I met her at Kibabi, I told the coach, Mr. Eliakim Ogenga from Kibabi University, I told, here we have a champion. Let's nurture this girl. She
How
has.
many years ago was that?
It was 2 years ago, isn't it? 2 years ago. She's not been in Taekwondo for too long, and that tells you that she has something unique. Because if you talk about 5-7 years experience, 2, and remember that now the last one, COVID was there. So She's a girl who believes in God. She believes she has a great she has great faith in God and discipline. She does exactly what she's supposed to do. At times, you can see, yes, she's trying, but the body is saying no, but she's pushing. And that is what really motivates us to really come up as a big team to work with her. And also that builds a lot of confidence in us, because an athlete has to motivate the coach. The coach has to motivate the athlete. Because like if you're training an athlete and you see there's no response, nothing is coming, you also feel like, oh, maybe it's not possible. But with her, she has all the time. She's so cool. You can see that even now she's very cool. But she is a good fighter. She is a good fighter. The looks might cheat you. The looks might cheat you that, oh, this one, how can it be softy? But let me tell you, this girl, she gets into the ring and she turns into something else. Right? She turns into something else. And she's a good listener. Even as she fights, she listens to the seconder. And that's why the coach is happy with her. As her seconder, I'm very happy with her. Now what we need to do is to tighten a few bolts here and there to make sure that we match the Olympic standards. And our confidence will always remain high.
Let me ask, Faith, very good words coming from your coach, George Wesonga, who is also the Secretary General, Kenya Taekwondo Federation. For you, you have the height. I mean, what motivated you to go into Taekwondo and not volleyball, where, the Coach Lungao, who would have drafted you into the team immediately due to the height? What motivated you into Taekwondo?
Actually, he tried pulling me out of Taekwondo, but I said, no, let me serve Taekwondo because maybe that's where my goal is. Mm-hmm. So actually, I was doing other sports, the ball games, mostly the outdoor sports. I've never tried the indoor. Mm-hmm. So mostly I was doing basketball. I was training as a start. I was still a student playing for the college, university, and also I used to play for Western Delights for a start. And then my coach was Coach Lira by then for Western Delight. But now Coach Jack saw me in school. I used to wake up so much dedicated. At 4, I am on the road work. In the evening, I'm on the court fumbling with boys there. And then I'm the only lady over there. So, and then he was like, Faith, I've seen you have a lot of energy. Come try Taekwondo and see how it will take you. At first, it was very tricky on my side. When I went to the hall, seeing people kicking and shouting, then I was like, I'm not used to this, coach. Come on, what is this? I can't do this. No. He tried severally. I had refused completely. I cannot do it. And then one time he told me, have you ever dreamt of going to the Olympics? I told coach, yes. But I believe maybe I'll go to USA. I play basketball for the NBA and then I go to the Olympics. Maybe that was my dream. But and then coach told me, but do you know basketball has a lot of competition? I told him, yes. And that's why you've never even been to a national team. I said, yes, but I'm working. I'm going to be there. Coach, my time is coming. And then he said, okay, come try Taekwondo because Taekwondo is an individual sport. So I got there slowly, but it was tough for me. I used to fear. But at the end, I joined Taekwondo. And that's how I landed myself in Taekwondo.
Okay, interesting indeed. The way you got into Taekwondo, and the rest is history. And here you are, an Olympian. Congratulations as we do that. Before I ask Mr. Wesonga to give us his closing remarks as the Secretary General and also as the coach, what would your message be, Faith, to that young athlete there out there looking at you and looking at your path to the Olympics, and the athlete just says, "Wow, that was very fast, too close," and all of a sudden she is an Olympian. What would that message be, even for that person who is now saying, when I grow up, I would like to be like Faith?
Yes, all it takes is all athletes, you have to fear God. And then second, you have to be very disciplined, because sports, it's very wide and it really needs a lot of discipline, especially on doping issues. And currently, right now, as you see, in Kenya, we are facing a challenge on drugs. Like almost youths are using drugs, and you see this is the future, maybe the sports women and men. So it's all about discipline. And you should pray God to guide you always, because at times you might try on your own, but you cannot. But when God guides you, you reach your goals. Yeah, that's what I believe.
Well, I mean, a very good message there. Kenya at the moment going through lots of doping issues, but we believe that sooner or later it will be a thing of the past. Remain disciplined, no shortcuts, and you will be like faith. You can never be like faith, but you can only get better than faith if you do the right things. Mr. Wesonga, your parting shot as we close this interview. What message would you give Kenyans, and what would be your rallying call or appeal as we now look at faith and, of course, Newton going for the qualifiers in Senegal in a few weeks to come?
My parting shots would be, one, I would like our Madam CS Amina to stand with this athlete. You remember, Taekwondo is an individual sport, and if she could stand with her, support her as much as possible, not only as a CS, but also now as Madam Amina to come in. And also, I would like to appeal to my sister Tekla Lorupe, who is a legend in this country and a good role model, to hold her hands, hold Faith's hand, walk with her, mentor her, because I know and I have faith that Faith is going to bring us a medal, the first ever medal in martial arts in this country, not only Kenya, but Sub-Sahara Africa. It has never happened, but it's going to happen. The other thing I would like to say, I would like to thank Kibabi University. They have been supporting us so much, and Kibabi University is giving sports a lot of attention, and which is very good. And I'd like to appeal to all other institutions, schools, universities, to come up and allow such sports to be done in their schools, and let them support this sport, because this way Kenya stands to have more than 4 athletes come Paris 2024. So that's my rallying call to schools, and I would like to urge Faith, no matter how tough it is, let us focus at the prize. Let us go to Japan, see and conquer, and come back victorious.
Wow, what a message that is. I mean, looking at all the people who've been behind Faith making it through Kibabi University, all through. You've mentioned very big names in the Kenyan society. The CS Sports, Madam, Ambassador Amina Mohammed, always present to listen to athletes' issues, and always very supportive. We believe, she's gotten the message, and as usual, like she's always been, she will, support from anywhere where she is able, but always she's never left behind when it comes to supporting Kenyan athletes and in all sporting disciplines. Tekla Lorupe, we were with her here on set maybe a couple of weekends ago, and she is also always very keen in supporting Kenyan athletes. Faith, you have the final word. It is your moment. What promise can you give Kenyans? I know it's not easy, but with the faith that you have in God, anything is possible. What promise can you give Kenyans as you give us your final comments?
Okay, the promise that I'll give to Kenyans is that this pandemic, let us keep safe and actually trust upon God, because right now we might be feeling weak, but what I believe, God will renew our strength. and we will become conquerors at the end. We should keep the spirit of fighting, and we should be to unity, because I believe once we do our things in unity, God will command blessings upon our country. Yes, and I would urge you to continue praying for the Team Tokyo, because currently right now we are having COVID challenges. If you test positive, you don't play. How I pray that everybody to put us in their prayers, so that by grace of God we get there when you are safe, okay, and set to play. And I'll tell you another thing, let's join hand to fight climate change in our country and also in the whole world. Let us just join hands and fight in whichever means you can. Let us do it together, because I believe once we believe, you become in what you believe in, and then you have to do it. Yeah, that's what I say.
Thank you very much. A very powerful message there indeed. And wrapping it up with a climate change message. Thank you very much, George Wesonga, Secretary General, Kenya Taekwondo Federation, and also coach, national team coach, Faith Ogalos, plus 67 kgs category going to the Olympics. Thank you very much as well for making time, and wish you all the best in your preparations, and of course in the Olympics as you go. It is possible, it can be done. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Well, that is where we wrap up the show this afternoon. Thank you very much for having kept us company. On behalf of the transmission controller, the director, the producer, the cameraman, the sound technician, and of course on behalf of Faith in Studio, and on behalf of Mr. Wesonga, we want to say thank you very much to our Muslim brothers and sisters. Sau makbul. To the rest, kuonana kesho ni majali yake Mwenyezi Mungu. Thank you for keeping us company, and enjoy the rest of your viewing. Bye-bye for now.